Right, over my left shoulder, got some lacquer drying on a bit of curly ribbon, and over my right shoulder, on the Vicmark lathe, a half-finished piece from an old demo. I've sort of lost interest in finishing it, so I'm going to do something new with it. And what I'm going to do new with it is to obviously skim off that old finish and get the surface prepared. So just speeding through this, you've seen this on countless videos before. I sand it to 240 grit, which is quite smooth enough for the ebonising lacquer to go on. One coat put on, and then when that's dry, I put a second coat on. I find having two coats really does help improve the finish of it, helps give it a bit more of a solid sheen. Then while spinning with a small paintbrush, I've put on yellow and cerise Chestnut Products iridescent paints. It's spinning at about 2,500 RPM, so pretty fast. I can never quite leave things alone though, can I? So I keep putting some more pink on. Eventually, of course, I'll have to stop it and see what it looks like, but you can see as it's spinning how it's flinging the paint out. Here we go. Let's see how those two colours have worked together. Right, a little bit of fuzziness on the video there, but hopefully you can see that they're very thin, fine lines that this paint puts out. Had I been patient, do patience and me live in the same box? Had I been patient, I could have waited for the first colour to dry and then put the second colour on. But I'm not patient, so I've put them both on wet, which means that as well as there being some yellow and some pink, they've also mixed together and given a sort of, well, it sort of strangely came out sort of, I suppose, goldy pink or pinky gold. Not quite sure which is the right way round. But not content with the first effort, let's put some more on and see what happens. I think I thought a bit more yellow, give a little bit more time to dry that pink, and put a bit more yellow on, give it a little bit more brightness. But also, it is rather addictive, this kind of technique. Now, of course, the thing to bear in mind is that it's going to be throwing paint, not at you as you're spinning the paint on there, but just in a narrow band all around the circumference. So you don't need to cover up your whole workshop. You just need, as I've got on the bed of the lathe here, an old shower curtain to catch any drops of the paint. And I've got that stretching up the wall as well. You can't see, but in the right of the shot, as you're looking at it, there's a roller blind covering my tool rack. I tend not to protect the ceiling because I haven't noticed it flinging that far, and it seems to just disappear in the air to the left of the picture as well. But you can make a box to put round the outside if you're worried about paint getting anywhere. But once I've got the paints done, the next stage of course is I will need to leave them to dry before I turn the middle out, unless I want to get a load of sawdust or sanding dust sticking to the paint, which I have thought might be quite an interesting textural device. Maybe next time. So get the tool rest in position, bit of jiggling around, and then it's just a case of cutting out the middle. Again, you've seen this process before, so just speeding through that. And then I'll be getting on to my normal finish for these now. It used to be cellulose sanding sealer and then wax, but I've found, as I've said in previous videos, I can be a bit ham-fisted with the cellulose sanding sealer, and it can affect the paint on the rim if I'm not too careful. So I use Chestnut's cut and polish now, and because it's wax based, if it does go on the outside rim, then that doesn't really matter. It can just be wiped away without any damage. Now I will say that I haven't put on the best finish for the rim because it's a bit cold and damp, and that would of course be lacquer, which I would put on before I sanded and waxed the inside. Because then any overspray of the lacquer can be sanded off. So there we go. There's the cut and polish going on, and another platter rim is just about completed. There, lovely, lovely silky smooth finish in there. Just wipe the dust off the outside here. Managed to put some little bit of a line there think that's something to do with the wax that's come off. So we're going to rub that away. That's why I like using the cut and polish in there rather than something, maybe some cellulose sanding sealer that then contaminates and ruins the edge. This will just rub nicely off. Here we go then, usual final shot of the whole process. Like I said in the last bit, unless it was edited out, I haven't put any lacquer over the outside, which I think is the best type of protection for this sort of finish, because it's just a bit too cold and damp, and I'm worried about it drying properly. But the iridescent paint gives a very nice sheen. The cut and polish that I used in the centre has left a very nice finish. Lovely butterfly effect blank going on. The close-ups, I hope, are giving some nice idea of the sheen from the iridescence. And all in all, quite straightforward and easy, but fun. Until next time, thanks for watching. And next week, see how I recover from this awful mess of splodge and splat and blobs of paint that I've just dotted all around a poor old piece of wood that really deserved to be treated better. Ugh. Bilious.